Yo, what's up? Dr. Swole here, MD, pro physique athlete. Today I'm going to be giving you a full 5-day hypertrophy program based on the Dr. Swole Arnold split. This is a split that I came up with that combines the Dr. Swole split, which is traditionally set up for 4 days per week, and the Arnold split. Here's the split layout. The first 2 days are the Dr. Swole split segment. So we've got quads, chest, back, and calves, and then glutes, hamstrings, arms, and shoulders. Then the next part of the week has the Arnold split segment. So we have chest and back, legs, and shoulders and arms. This combination works particularly well in a 5-day setup, and I'll be explaining that in this video. We'll start off with a program walkthrough where I'll share everything you'll need to know to run the program yourself, including exercises, sets, and reps. Then we'll talk about the weekly layout or how to spread out your days across the week. And finally, we'll talk about the pros and cons of this Dr. Swole Arnold split. This is a low volume program which could work well for a beginner or people who respond to low volumes. Alright, let's do our program walkthrough. So this is the Dr. Swole Arnold split program. It's a 5-day setup set with low volumes. We got quads, chest, back, and calf day, glutes, hamstrings, shoulders, and arms, then chest and back, legs, and shoulders and arms. Here are the exercises, and there are the sets and reps. Down here we have the total number of sets for each workout, so you have an idea of workout length, and here we have the total number of sets for each muscle group each week. Let's start off with our first day. We kick it off with squats for the quads. 3 sets, and we're using a top set back off method here. So you're going to work up to one top heavy set of 3 to 5 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 10 reps, and you'll be using lighter weight with the back offs. This allows us to get in some heavy strength work with that 3 to 5 rep set, which is going to be great for building strength. And then we'll get some volume in with our higher rep, lower weight work. Then we've got incline dumbbell bench press for the chest, 3 sets of 6 to 10. After that, leg extensions for the quads, 3 sets of 10 to 15, followed by neutral grip pull downs for the back, 3 sets of 6 to 10, and then dumbbell seal rows for the back, 3 sets of 8 to 12. This is a chest supported row where you lie face forward on a bench set to about 15 to 30 degrees. It's a great alternative for people who don't have access to a machine chest supported row. Then we have machine calf raises for the calves, and we're using a mile rep scheme here. So you're going to work up to one main set of 10 to 15 reps, followed by 7 mini sets of 3 to 5 reps, taking about 10 seconds of rest in between all of these. This will allow you to stay close to failure and take advantage of those effective reps. I'm approximating this as 5 straight sets here. Note that I have you actually alternating some leg work with upper body work here. Exercise order is very individual, but when possible, I do like giving a little bit of rest in between exercises training the same muscle groups. This could potentially allow you to squeeze out a bit more performance. Then we have glutes, hamstrings, shoulders, and arm day. Starting off, we have barbell back extensions for the glutes and hamstrings, 2 sets of 8 to 12. Using a barbell in the back extension machine is great because it allows you to progressively overload to a high degree and very precisely. I see a lot of people just trying to clasp plates to their chest while doing back extensions. Using a barbell will allow you to go way heavier. Then we have leg curls for the hamstrings, 2 sets of 6 to 10. Notice that I've placed relatively quad dominant leg exercises on my first day and hamstring dominant exercises on the second day here. This is because these 2 days come back to back, so I'm making sure there's no interference here. Then we have easy bar curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 6 to 10, and you can superset these with easy bar skull crushers for the triceps, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Then we have cable hammer curls for the biceps, 2 sets of 8 to 12, followed by barbell upright rows for the side delts, but also the traps, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Going on to chest and back day, we start with bench press for the chest, 3 sets. And we're also using a mile rep scheme here, one top heavy set of 3 to 5 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 10 reps with lighter weight. You really want to be focusing on progressing that first set for strength. The lighter sets don't have to progress as quickly, but you do want to be getting stronger on them over time. Just don't feel that you need to be smashing yourself into the ground on every set here. Then we have barbell rows for the back, 3 sets of 6 to 10. After that, incline dumbbell flies for the chest, 2 sets of 10 to 15. And then dumbbell pullovers for the back, 3 sets of 10 to 15. In my back training, you'll see that I usually like to have one heavy barbell type row that gives you axial loading, that is, involves your erectors. Then I'll always have a vertical pulling movement to really get the lats. I'll have another horizontal row, which would be a lower priority. Sometimes will be a chest supported row. And then I'll have some type of vertical pull movement or a pullover type movement. This one is really designed here to give you a stretch in the lats. Having these kinds of structures in my programming will make sure that I cover all aspects of back training, and the same for other muscle groups as well. Then we have dumbbell lateral raises for the side delts, 4 sets of 8 to 12. And you can superset these movements on a bench if you'd like. Then we have leg day. We start off with deadlifts for the glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets, and we're going to work up to one top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with about 10% off the bar. After that, Smith machine squats for the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12. If you don't have a Smith machine, you can use a hack squat or a leg press. You'll see that I'm placing my top priority squat type movement in the first segment, and then my top priority deadlift movement in the second segment of the program. This makes sure that we have good fatigue distribution and both of these movements get high priority. You'll also notice that my squat, bench, and deadlift get good attention starting off at the beginning of the workout. And this is nice because it allows you to really focus on them. Sometimes when you're combining major movements like having a bench press and a squat on the same day, it can get fatiguing both mentally and physically. Then we have lunges for the glutes and hamstrings, but also the quads, 3 sets of 8 to 12, followed by leg curls for the hamstrings, 2 sets of 10 to 15. Notice that we have leg curls twice in this program. If you have access, you can use a seated and a lying leg curl on different days. Finally, we have leg press calf raises for the calves. My rep scheme again here, 1 main set of 8 to 12 reps, followed by 7 mini sets of 3 to 5 reps. Going on to shoulder and arm day, we start with dumbbell overhead press. This mainly hits the anterior delts, but also gets a bit of your upper pecs and triceps. We're using a top set back off method here, so 1 top heavy set of 5 to 8 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 5 to 8 reps with slightly lighter weight. Then we have dumbbell preacher curls for the biceps, 2 sets of 8 to 12. Then we have close grip bench press for the chest and triceps, 3 sets here, and we're working up to 1 top heavy set of 6 to 10 reps, followed by 2 back off sets of 6 to 10 reps with about 10% lighter weight. Notice that I have close grip bench press, which is my accessory bench movement, coming after my bench press. This is a better setup than the other way around because say if I had close grip bench press coming close before chest and back day, it could impact my performance on my high priority bench. Then we have Bayesian curls for the biceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15, and these are a standing bicep curl on the cable machine with your arm behind your body. After that, rope press downs for the triceps, 3 sets of 10 to 15, and you can superset these movements on the cable stack. And finally, we have cable lateral raises for the side delts, 4 sets of 10 to 15. If you wanted, you could even superset all 3 of these cable movements in a giant set. Just gonna fix a typo here to make sure that we're reflecting the actual number of sets in each workout, so that should be right now. What other programs do you want to see me cover? I am the CEO of Free Hypertrophy Programming on YouTube, so let me know in the comments below. Alright, now that we've seen the program, let's talk about the weekly layout. So here's my preferred setup of the Dr. Swole Arnold split. We start off with the Dr. Swole split segment of the program. Quads, chest, back, calves, then hamstrings, glutes, arms, and shoulders. Then we have a rest day followed by the Arnold split segment. So chest and back day, legs, shoulders and arms, and rest. This split works particularly well for 5 days per week, and that's why I designed it. 5 days per week can be tricky to program for because some of the most popular splits don't work that well. And people often think of the upper lower split best set up for 4 or 6 days per week, although it does also work really well for 5 days per week. First of all, the Dr. Swole split is basically a combination of push-pull and the Arnold split. You can see the push-pull reflected in how legs are distributed. So our quads and calves are kind of like pushing movements for the legs, and then glutes and hamstrings are more like pulling movements. Then the Arnold split segment comes in the upper body. So we pair chest and back and shoulders and arms. This is a really powerful pairing because it allows us to train our arms and shoulders when they're fresh. With push-pull legs, for example, your bicep and tricep training comes after compound pushing and pulling movements, so you're not going to perform as well on your direct arm training because they're already fatigued from indirect work. This particularly works well coming after chest and back because you wouldn't want it the other way around because having tired shoulders and arms could impact your chest and back training. I also really like the fatigue distribution in the Dr. Swole split because it's basically a modified full body type split where you have upper body and lower body training in the same workout. This is really nice because it spreads out your leg training volume so you don't just have really big tough leg days. Going on to the Arnold split segment, you'll notice that I've swapped the order of the traditional ordering of the Arnold split, which would be chest and back, shoulders and arms, and legs. This works particularly well in 5 days per week. Because we have these 2 rest days and we're not doing a 6-day program where we would only have 1 rest day, we can swap these days and not have shoulders and arms coming back to back with a chest and back day coming after. So say if we were trying to do this swap in a 6-day Arnold split, you'd have chest and back, legs, shoulders and arms, and then chest and back again. So you'd have that interference here. But in this 5-day setup, we're able to swap these days and still have nice spacing between our chest and back training, our leg training, and our shoulder and arm training. The reason why this works so naturally is because the Dr. Swole split is a variant of the Arnold split. Since we have the Arnold split component in the upper body training, chest and back followed by shoulders and arms, the ordering fits in seamlessly when you put in the Arnold split later where you again have chest and back with shoulders and arms afterwards. Now that we've seen the program, let's talk about the pros and cons of this Dr. Swole Arnold split program. Starting off with the pros, this program allows you to train shoulders and arms when they're fresh. I really like this aspect of the Arnold split split where you have chest and back paired together and then shoulders and arms paired together. As we mentioned before, a lot of popular splits like push-pull legs and the upper lower have your small muscle group training coming after your main compound pushing and pulling movements. And I really like being able to train shoulders and arms when they're fresh to give them some priority because a lot of people are lacking in these muscle groups. Next, you get a high frequency of shoulder and arm training. And this is because when you split up shoulders and arms from chest and back, you're effectively increasing your frequency because your arms are actually getting trained indirectly with your chest and back training. Side delts are also being trained 3 times per week. You'll see that I snuck in some side delt work on our chest and back day in the middle of the week. Next, this program has good fatigue distribution. I really like how leg training is spread out over 3 days per week. In popular splits set up for 6 days per week, push-pull legs and the Arnold split, you have 6 days, but you only have 2 leg days. This means that your leg days are going to be disproportionately more fatiguing than your 4 other upper body days. When we distribute our leg training over more days, we're able to spread out that fatigue and get more out of all of our training in total. This won't be that much of a big deal for a ranked beginner, but for someone at a higher level, it will make a difference. Next, this program is very well balanced. You'll see that everything comes together to give a nice amount of priority to all different muscle groups. Our legs get good attention because they're trained 3 days per week, and we have a nice spread of our shoulder and arm training with the ability to train them when they're fresh. In that sense, I do think this split is a step up from the Arnold upper lower combination because in that split, some of your shoulder and arm training tends to get bunched up. Let's talk about the cons of this program. There actually aren't many. The first one, leg training comes back to back early in the week. With the Dr. Swole split, you do have quad training followed by glute and hamstrings the next day. But I've started this because we have gotten around this problem through exercise selection. You'll see that I've placed very quad dominant movements on the first day, squats and leg extensions, followed by very hamstring dominant movements on the next day, barbell back extensions and leg curls. This makes sure that we don't actually have interference between these days. Next, this program has chest and shoulder training back to back again in that Dr. Swole segment early in the week. And you'll see that I've also gotten around this through exercise selection, but you'll see that I've also gotten around this problem by moving exercises around strategically. I took our main vertical pressing movement and our close grip bench press movement, which are our main accessory movements that hit the shoulders and the triceps, on our shoulder and arm day. Since that day happens in the Arnold split segment later in the week, it's isolated from chest and back training by a leg day in between. Then in the earlier segment of the week, the Dr. Swole segment, I can just put my more side delt type training like upright rows on my second day. This will work really nicely because there won't be any interference with chest training coming the day before. I will be sharing the full program as an Excel file in my Facebook group, so find the link in the description below and you can download the program for free. If you want to see another awesome setup for 5 days per week, check out this video where I share a full program based on the upper lower split set for 5 days per week. People often don't think of the upper lower split for 5 days per week, but it actually works really well and I'll show you how. Subscribe to the channel for more free science-based muscle building programs, and we'll see you next time.